And hello, everybody. I am here to introduce one of my good friends, a girl that I've actually worked with. She is a master colorist. And being a master colorist means that you are absolutely consumed in what you do. Of course, being a hairstylist requires us all to talk to women each and every day, but this woman speaks to women about how they reveal themselves in their hair color. As we know, that says a lot about the individual. So, Janae Miller, I'm happy to have you here today.
Hey, Jazz, I'm excited to be on. How are you today?
I am good. I'm good. We can talk hours and hours on end if we give, but we're gonna try to put this down to 20 minutes as much as we can.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So I'm gonna hop right on into it. So creating and maintaining your new and overdue identity. What does that mean for you?
Creating and maintaining your new overdue identity. Wow, that's a great question. Well, one thing about creating an identity is first for me is knowing where I am in life and being honest with where you are in life. When I created my identity, as you said, I've been working as a hair colorist for the last almost decade right now. And so my identity has been in that. But I found myself in a new season. Recently, I found myself wanting to do more, right? And so I'm in this finding phase. It's like I've created one identity, but the question I have now is who is Janae outside of color, outside of hair? I mean, I tell people color is something that speaks to me personally. I believe our colors are a representation of where we are in our life. So, for example, if you're bright blonde, I feel like you're very, enthusiastic. You're very high risk taker. Lighter tones tend to show a bit of energy or a bit of refreshment or newness. But if you notice recently, I just went back black, and I really, really, if I think about it, I really just think it reflects where I am at this season. Taking things slower, laying things back, being a little more conservative with where I am. And it's a true testament to how I feel when it comes to my career and what the next step is. I'm really wanting to find who is Janae Miller at 36 years old and beyond for the next 10 years. And so I'm really in just this pivot phase. I feel like we should be comfortable with different pivots in our life. And I'm not gonna lie, it's real uncomfortable right now. I feel like I'm starting over, but I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to embrace it because the woman that I see myself becoming, I'm excited to meet her.
What moment did you realize, okay, this color doesn't best identify me? I think I need to go black.
It was actually a couple of weeks ago. You know, I would say within the last few months, I've been in this space of what's next. Like, what is next for me? So I don't know. I felt like taking everything darker. It just, when I saw myself in the mirror, I was like, I just see myself with black hair right now. I want something low maintenance. I want something that I don't have to worry about retouching, right? I need something that is a little more calm, easy peasy, steady, and also secure, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And I actually think that is kind of where I'm at when it comes to my next career. Being an entrepreneur, we're high risk takers, right? We're that high risk, high reward type of taker. And in the beginning of my career, that was something that I embraced. I was super excited about, like wanting to jump into the unknown, not worrying about what could happen. I had this bright eyed idea that no matter what I do, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna learn from it. But again, like I'm 36 now, that was almost 10 years ago. I wanted something a little more stable, right?
Mhm.
I wanted stability. And it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the journey I've had as an entrepreneur and as a master colorist. That's gonna always hold a place in my heart. But again, I just need something a little more stable, something more predictable. And our industry, we've gone through a lot within the last 5 years. Let's be honest. You and I are from Houston, but we can just start with the pandemic. That was a huge disruption for our industry. And so at that point, I decided to go back to school simply for business needs to know, like, in situations like this, how do you turn your business around? How do you scale your business? 2022, I started a new salon project. I went in with a great friend. We both wanted to test the salon idea out together to see what it would actually be like. I learned so much from that. But again, we had to cut that operation short because the recession, right? In just the span of just 2 years, I feel like I'm on this, going high and then we're going down, high, down, high, down. And now we're in this realistic situation where we're in a recession. although we don't really mention it and it doesn't mean fear, but it also just means being strategic and understand what you're up against. And so for me, it's been a lot, right? And I have to be honest with myself. And I told myself, I was like, if I had to do one thing to save not only my business, but myself, my sanity, what would be your next step?
Wow.
And so I'm in this diversification pivot. It's a lot. If I had to say, where am I in this stage? Is a lot. I'm still trying to find it, but I'm embracing what the fear is. I'm also embracing and identifying the challenge. And now I'm moving forward to the solution. And I'm telling myself, I do not want to get stagnant. So I will add, I don't want to get long with it. I want to say about a month or so ago, I made an announcement on my Instagram. I was like, guys, I'm done being behind the chair. I'm taking a hiatus. In my heart, I didn't know how long it would be, right? I just knew I needed to make that announcement for myself. Now, I did it for 30 days where I took no clients, right? It was just me, myself, and whatever new theme that I wanted to try out. And so now, 30 days later, I'm doing clients, but it's slow and steady. And my main goal for that, I identified, like, why are you doing this again, Janae? You said that you wanted to take a step back, you wanted to do something new. So now I'm just having to understand that when we make moves, we have to be strategic. You can't do things abruptly, but everything we do has to have a why to it. So now I have a why as to what I'm doing, and I know I have an exit strategy, if that makes sense.
Okay. I know that you mentioned the fact that being an entrepreneur means that you're okay with the high risk and the high reward. And then for you to take that big jump, I mean, that was paramount because it meant a lot for you to make that initiative to stop it because you felt that it needed to be stopped. And then it also, you knew that it would be impactful to everybody who's seen it because you have a following of how much?
Over 50,000 on Instagram.
So you got over 50,000 people watching your post. I'm sure you already had people booked. And for you to say, you know what, I'm completely finished. Number one, kudos for you identifying needed some mental management. And then also kudos to you for being fearful of the decision. Even though you didn't understand why, you had to trust something. I'm sure I can relate on that because I've had my own issues with deciding if I want to choose one plan that I've already committed to, or if I want to stop my commitment and then start another plan. Personally, I find that that's the biggest issue for me. It's not necessarily taking the risk. It's mostly following through, even though I'm still different. Because being an artist means that you are in tune with your feelings, right? Being an entrepreneur, like it's almost as if you have a knowing of what your place is. So now for you to change your mind in the middle of the process, you'll start something new. So then it kind of makes you start to distrust yourself. You're starting to say, well, look, I don't know if I really want to pursue this. And then in the midst of that, you can lose clarity. Am I by myself on that?
I absolutely resonate with that. So yeah, wow. Following through with what you say you're gonna do, right? For me, it's a bit of that, and also actually starting it. Like I have ideas, I have tons of ideas of what I can do next, and great strategies that I've yet to execute on. And I think it leads to this circular reasoning, or like you can't get out of this matrix. It breeds anxiety, because you're trying to figure out what's next, and then you're overthinking and you don't know the best way to start. And so you're like, okay, well, I'm not sure about that. So let me try to tackle something that I know is easier or predictable or something that I know is going to work. So I resonate with that 100%.
What do you think other women who resonate with that should do? Because I know that when I'm in the middle of it, it's difficult for me because number one, it's hard to explain to other people. Number two, you don't know when somebody else is going through it because they're also a little bit, secret about that place in their life because they don't know whether the light is red or whether it's green. It's yellow right now. So they're yielding, right? They're slowing down. Maybe it's not a real intention. Maybe I don't need to share it with anyone. Maybe I need to just continue to do things the way that I've always done. But what do you say to a woman so that she can't continue?
Wow. So I got a suggestion and then the encouragement. For that woman, I would say first, turn everything off. Tune out everything. I think sometimes, at least I would say in this world, we are high consumers of social media. And so it can get very noisy. So we first need to understand our voice and the voices of others, or what we see that is making us want to make certain moves. And I can say for myself, like, I think looking at what everybody else is doing, that also contributes to a lot of, maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I should, or maybe I'm too late, and so it's so noisy up here, right? And so when you take a step back and it's just you, the next thing I would say is you have to then trust yourself. Like you said, rebuild that trust within yourself. Reflect on the thing. I tell people I'm very big faith-based. So whether I have to pray, whether I have to sit and meditate, where it's just allowing my thoughts and allowing the Most High to just calm my spirit and reflect on the good thing that He's already done in my life, right? And so when you start revisiting the things that you have done, that have been successful, the things that you did follow through, where you just so hyper focused and nothing took you away from it, and you see the fruits of that labor, allow that to rebuild you and show you that whenever you are committed to something, that it will give you what you desire, and whatever that is. So whether it's something that scales, whether it's something for a season, whatever it is, you're going to learn from it, you're going to grow from it, and it's going to be for your greater good. So those are the two things that I would say to women: is tune out the noise, get in tune with yourself, do whatever you need to do to seek, whatever your faith is, right? And so you can rebuild yourself and trust yourself, so you can move to your next phase.
I love that. Oh, girl, that is something we know what we need to do. Sometimes we just do not do it. We do not. So happy that you were able to even share that, because turn everything off is paramount. Once you can clear that noise, you can hear the source, right? You can hear where it's really coming from. And the more you unpack it, the easier it is to find it. I think that that's going to change a lot of lives. Just those two things alone. How often do you recommend people to really take the time to just ensure that they're grounded and that they're listening to their inner voice and they're able to make their decisions a lot clearly?
So I can show you the tactics that I use in my personal life. Mm-hmm. When I wake up in the morning, I ensure that the first thing I do is I get some food for my spirit. So that's not even my voice. It's of a greater source. So I wake up, I get in some scripture, Bible scripture, I take a shower, and I just allow myself, whether it's, sounds of nature, whether it's the voice of lessons in life that I need to pick up on. So I start with my scripture, I take my shower, I feel clean, I feel renewed. And then I move forward to, what are my plans for today? So now I have clarity, I have spiritual clarity. I don't have any disruption in my spirit and my emotions, right? I'm cleared there. And then the next move is I can now go to my mental, right? I can now say, what do you want to do for today? So I am a big proponent of keeping things very simple. So find the one thing, whatever your goal is, assign whether it's 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 20 minutes a day, whatever you can dedicate to it. Say, hey, I'm going to choose this time slot to work toward that next goal, right? Because I do think we also find ourselves being highly productive. We can have a long list of tasks for the day. And we can shoot all those tasks. I gotta go to the grocery store, I gotta go do this, I gotta study, and then at the end of the day, you ask yourself, well, did you do anything that led you to the goal that your next step, to help take you to the next step? And my answer has been lately is no. No, I haven't. I didn't take 30 minutes today to work on my digital platform. I didn't take an hour. I didn't even take 10 minutes. I don't even have a title for it, So it's allowing yourself real time, and be honest with yourself. I just say maybe 30 minutes to an hour to work towards the goal that you need to do. And just apply that. They say when we do 30 days of something, you build a habit. Just know it's not going to be easy, but just establish that habit. And so that will be that is my day of how I decide to do things. And like I said, I'm working on a space now where I have to now commit. So it's now commit to what you say you're gonna do, Nay. You got the strategy. Commit to it so you can trust yourself again.
All right, good. I'm just so glad that I know you. I'm just, you know,
Likewise.
form every time I hear you talk though, but I am glad that I know you though. I'm glad that I know you because I know that I have also been in that same space where I'm a hairstylist, entrepreneur, and I'm doing things the way I feel that they need to be done. And I'm creating a life for myself. Everything's within my control. And I have taken on so many responsibilities that it turns into me having these days that just run together. And the things that I didn't finish yesterday, then I have to finish the following day. And these deadlines are, top heavy. So it's hard for me to really commit to that. So I 1,000% agree. I want to thank you though, Janae. I really, really want to thank you because this has been helpful. How do you see yourself at your greatest, at your fullest, in your future identity? How do you see yourself?
She is a multifaceted woman. I will say that. The question would be, what doesn't she do? And I realize serial entrepreneur, or creatives, we're not in a box. So I'm okay with differentiation. And so the woman I see, her feet is in a lot of soil. In this season, it may not make sense, but in the end, when the final picture is shown, it will all make sense. Every season, everything you did, everything is connecting, and she's just a well-rounded woman. So all of my gifts, I feel like, will be able to come together.
That's the way life works. A bunch of things that don't make sense, and then when you get the big picture, you can put all those pieces together. I'm also looking forward to seeing you and your greatest and your fullest, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Jazz. It was a pleasure. Bye.